welcome to today's video. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking out my channel today. I'm so happy to have you here. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. If you're just hopping on my channel for the first time, I hope you enjoy it here. And I hope you enjoy it enough to click the subscribe button, the notification bell, click the like button, all the works. Okay? Thank you so much for coming on my channel today. And just by way of introduction, my name is Anne. This channel is Scent Solutions and we're all about perfumes on this channel. So welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Tuberose perfumes, and that's a note that I find very interesting in perfumes. It's a white floral, simply put, and so it falls within the category of white florals. It's been very recently, used a lot in different fragrances. And I just thought, why not share my thoughts on the Tuberose fragrances in my collection? So let's get right into it. I have about 12 of them today that we're going to be talking about. I have some notes that I made because I've been sampling them, taking down my thoughts, my notes. So if you hear the page flip, that's just me checking out my thoughts so that I don't lose any of them in the course of the video. First off, we're going to be starting with a new baby, and that's Signorina Misteriosa by Salvatore Ferragamo. So that is this one in the black pretty bottle with the bows. Yep. Now, Signorina Misteriosa is a fruity, floral, vanillic fragrance. That's a simple summary of how I would describe it. It is very, I would say, it's very fruity in the opening. But before I get into that, it was launched in 2016. So it's from the Salvatore Ferragamo line. I don't really have too many fragrances from this line. I think I just have one. And that's, I think, Amo Ferragamo. Yeah, I think that's the one. I have a flanker of, the one from the Amo Ferragamo line. But this is my second rodeo with that house. Now, this perfume has blackberry, neroli. It has tuberose and orange blossom in the middle. And at the base, there's some milk mousse, black vanilla husk, and patchouli. So ideally, I think of this, or this is supposed to start off fruity, get into the florals at the heart, and then end up a bit lactonic and, with some patchouli to support. But how does this fragrance actually turn out for me? Based on what I smelled when I used this, to be honest, I got the fruity opening, and it was somewhat reminiscent to me of undiluted Ribena, the blackcurrant drink. That's exactly what this smells like to me in the opening. As it dries down, the white florals come out to play. So the tuberose is obviously there, wrapped in a layer of like musk and vanilla that adds like a hint of sensuality to this perfume. I mean, from the way it's described, Signorina Misteriosa, from what I read, is supposed to be like a mysterious, elegant lady and all of that. Whether it lives up to that hype, I will discuss on another video because I'm going to review this perfume on its own. However, I'll just say that the musk and the vanilla at the base kind of give it that warmth and a hint of the sensuality that the name suggests. But I don't really get the milky notes. It says it has milk mousse in the dry down. I didn't get that. I got more of the fruity, white florals and vanillic qualities in this perfume. So I like the tuberose here. And if you're someone who is, not very drawn to like heavy tuberose fragrances, or if you're intimidated by the heaviness of tuberose, but you still want to dip your toes in those waters, then this might be a good place to start. Now, next up, we have Gucci Bloom. Yeah, Gucci Bloom. Now, Gucci Bloom to me is one of the most unproblematic fragrances you will ever find. Starting from even the packaging, it's just so simply packaged. It's so simple and so mild and just it looks like it reminds me of that lady who would not want to offend anybody, who is very politically correct, who does the right things, who wears the right clothes for every occasion, who says her thank yous and her pleases. That's exactly what Gucci Bloom represents to me. So this is a very mild rendition of a tuberose perfume. It has jasmine, tuberose, and rangoon creeper. So those are the only notes that are listed for Gucci Bloom. It's a very pretty simple linear perfume that is not at all intimidating. And like the name implies, it gives up that vibe of like, like a floral garden in full bloom. Like you're taking a walk in a floral garden and smelling morning dew on a spring morning. That's the imagery that comes to mind with Gucci Bloom. It's a very likable, wearable tuberose. And if you don't like tuberose as a note, but again, if you want to try it out, I feel like this might be a good place to start as well. I really like this fragrance. I love it as a spring summer scent. It has moderate longevity on me. Doesn't last too long, but it's something you can always respray. So for me, very safe tuberose fragrance, but you definitely would get the tuberose from this because the tuberose is one of the stars of this show. Now, next up, we have one that, to be honest, before I read the notes, I did not actually know had tuberose, and that is Musk Noir Rose for Her by Narciso Rodriguez. Well, when I first got this perfume, I went ham on the spraying. I was using it almost every day because it's that good. This is a sweet, musky rose perfume. It's got a soft, spicy accord to it. It has plum, pink pepper, there's bergamot. In the middle, there's musk, rose, tuberose, and then at the base, there's just vanilla. So, simple note profile. For me, this is soft, sexy, mysterious, a bit of a musky, in fact, a lot musky, not a bit. It's a musky perfume with a hint of tuberose. Like I said, I don't particularly get the tuberose as a standout note in this fragrance, and that's because it's so well blended with the other notes in here. So to me, this fragrance is a lot of things, and it develops in a very interesting way on my skin. Like I get most of the notes as the scent evolves, from the fruity notes to the floral notes to the muskiness in between. So that evolution my nose follows. So this is a really fabulous take on musk and tuberose, quite frankly. Obviously heavier on the musk in my opinion, but it's interesting to know that there's tuberose here. So for me, this is mild ciliage, projection. The lasting power is really mild. You have to keep spraying, but I don't mind spraying this. Overall, for me, this is a perfect feminine scent for a musk lover with some tuberose in it. That's the way that I would describe it. Yep. So next up, we've got from the House of Prada, and I'm going to be talking about two perfumes from this house. That is Prada La Femme Eau de Parfum Intense, and there is just Prada La Femme Eau de Parfum. Now, I'll start with this beauty here with the leather detail and the gold cap. This bottle is gorgeous. Look at this. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous bottle. Gorgeous in the true sense of it. I love this line. I don't talk about it too much, or I haven't spoken about it too much in recent times, but I really do love Prada La Femme. This is one of my boss lady type of fragrances. It really gives off a powerful, officious vibe to me. Yeah, this one was one of my first intros to tuberose as a fragrance note. And it starts with some tropical notes. So you have ylang ylang, frangipani. Then, of course, it gently transitions to the tuberose, the jasmine, sambac, orange blossom. So the white florals, so to speak. Now, these florals are supported by a base of patchouli, vanilla, iris, and vetiver. So to me, Tuberose is the star of this show. Yeah, from the moment I spray it till the dry down. It's really linear, this one. So what you smell when you first spray is literally what you're going to get when it dries. Yep. It gives off this very soft, fresh, powdery, floral vibe with like a soapy undertone. A lot of people don't like that soapy undertone. I don't mind it, even though I'm not a fan of soapy fragrances, but this one is done in a way that is not offensive, you know. You have to love florals, and in particular white florals, to really appreciate the beauty of this perfume. But I reckon that if you're watching this, then you must be somewhat curious about white florals. So Tuberose is the star here. Like I said, it's really well balanced, so it's balanced in such a way that even without the fruits or sugary notes, you still get a mild floral, sweet soapiness, if that even makes any sense. There's a sweetness that is coming from the florals and not from any like external source of sugar or anything like that. So I like that. It just really works. It's a mature leaning fragrance, in my opinion. It makes for a very inoffensive scent. I feel like this would do very, very well as an office scent, a signature scent, that kind of thing. So very good use of tubers in that perfume. Now, this one here, my little mini, this one is same Prada La Femme, but this is, not the intense version. This is the original. This one also has the same potpourri of yellow florals, tuberose, iris, and vanilla and vetiver. It also has some spices, beeswax, and carrot seeds, as well as bergamot, which were not in the original. So, I think they also removed the jasmine from this one, even though I didn't really get jasmine from the initial one, to be honest. To me, similar vibe, both perfumes. It's just that they both have that luxe, very clean, soapy vibe. But this, the eau de parfum is a bit sweeter, in my opinion. It's a bit sweeter, a bit more tangy. And maybe that's because of the spices, the citrus, the beeswax. Yep. It doesn't last too long, though. I feel like the intense version has better lasting power. But both of them make for very great, fabulous tuberose perfumes. So that's Prada La Femme. Next up, we have from the L'Interdit line, and that is, this is Givenchy, L'Interdit, and this is L'Interdit Rouge. So these two perfumes are from the house of Givenchy. I'll start with L'Interdit Givenchy, the Eau de Parfum. So this is just Eau de Parfum. Again, this is another white floral tuberose with darker accords to lend a more mysterious quality to the scent. Now, this was my first intro to the L'Interdit line, and it has, I think pear, it's got bergamot in the opening that make it really bright and sweet when you first spray. The mid has a mix of white florals, so your typical white florals, tuberose, orange blossom, jasmine, and then at base you have patchouli, vanilla, and Broxton vetiver, which give it some density and just really ground that initial sweetness and floweriness. So from this perfume, I get very strongly the tuberose, which kind of starts off very bubblegummy. I get the ambroxan, a bit of patchouli, and the pear and citrus opening. It is a very heavy, strong perfume with a dark edge to it. So, if you're comparing it to a perfume like Gucci Bloom, they're almost at different ends of the tuberose spectrum. While Gucci Bloom is mild, this one is intense. This one is really in your face. This one announces your presence. It creates a massive scent bubble around you. Longevity is fantastic. This one will very easily last me an entire work day of maybe about 8 hours. So great, great, great. For me, this is like nighttime, date night, sexy tuberose. Gucci Bloom is like daytime, milder afternoon events, luncheons, things like that. This one is club, party, nighttime events, tell them you're there, leave leave an impression. Okay, now for L'Entrée Rouge, guys, this is my best tuberose perfume ever. In fact, L'Entrée Rouge is one of my best. If I were to rank my top 10 perfumes of all time, this perfume will make the list. This one is unapologetically sexy. That's what L'Entrée Rouge is. It does not explain its sexiness to you. It is unapologetic. It, to me, is like taking the original to the next level of sexy. It's ginger, blood orange, tuberose, jasmine. There's some pimento leaf that gives it some spiciness. Then there's some patchouli, vetiver, sandalwood. I'm surprised there's no vanilla written as a note here because, to be honest, I do get some vanilla vibes from this, especially in the dry down. Now, to me, the ginger, the sandalwood addition here, that pimento leaf really switched up this fragrance. Oh my God. I don't even remember that this is a tuberose fragrance because it doesn't even give that overly heady floral vibe. Rather, this is warm, it's sexy, it's thick, it's rich, it is ultra seductive and feminine. This you wear when you have amorous intentions. When you want somebody to remember you, you wear this. It projects, it stays on my skin forever. It brings in the compliments. It's my best tuberose fragrance, hands down, period. Okay, next up, I have Giorgio Armani, My Way Intense. And then this is, I have some testers of the original My Way. So I've got both of them. Yeah, so for My Way Intense, which is the one in the bottle, this is my happy perfume. Yep, bright, happy, so sparkly, and I love it. This is a potpourri of like white florals with tuberose at the heart. It's got some orange blossom, beta orange, vanilla, and sandalwood to support it. So absolutely stunning, very bubblegummy, sweet, playful, and joyful. Again, for me, this is another great and modern adaptation of a tuberose fragrance. And I feel like this is more mass appealing and can be worn across age groups. Yep, projects really well, lasts long, and is very versatile in my opinion. So you can wear this anywhere, anytime. Now, My Way, the original, also similar to the Intense, but this one has bergamot instead of the blood orange. It has cedar instead of the sandalwood, and there's some musk in this. So same vibe, very feminine, happy, sparkly, very fabulous, gorgeous rendition of tuberose in these two perfumes. Nishane 100 Silent Ways. This is the extrait de parfum. This one, if you've watched my channel for, let's say, the last 2 months, thereabouts, you'd have heard me rave about this perfume. Yep, because I've been on a vanilla hunt, and this one came into my life from that process. Yep. Now, this perfume opens with tuberose. So tuberose is like, it makes its debut in the opening, peach and mandarin orange. And then at the mid, there's gardenia, jasmine, and some orris to give it a bit of powderiness. At the base, there's vanilla, sandalwood, and vetiver to hold it all together. Now, the star notes here are tubers, but to be honest, I did not get tuberose from this the first time I smelled it until I read the notes. So it's not the heady type of tuberose. In fact, let me spray it and just remind myself. Yeah, this is not a heady tuberose fragrance you kind of catch a whiff of it, but it escapes so quickly. Like it kind of, it's so well blended. I think that's what it is. Maybe with the peach and the mandarin. I cannot isolate tuberose from this fragrance as a scent, to be honest. So makes its debut in the opening. Like I said, not very recognizable. If you're not paying attention, you may miss it. This perfume gives me high quality black opium vibes. I've said this before. If you like black opium, you're going to like Nishane 100 Silent Ways. It's a vanilla centric perfume, but of course, tuberose adds to the richness of this perfume. Smells to me like black opium at some points in its evolution. So if you do like black opium, this is nice. So it's a very, very lovely use of tuberose and vanilla. Okay, next up we have BDK Tuberose Imperial. I'm not going to talk too much about this because again, I feel this is worthy of its own video. I love this one. It's a nice perfume. This one is white floral, iris, tropical flowers, vanilla, benzoin. It has a lot of notes. Benzoin, sandalwood, rose bay. I think in the opening it starts with geranium, rose bay, willow herb. So there's also cashmere, incense, patchouli, cypress at the base. For me, what I get from this perfume is ultra feminine, ultra luxurious white florals. This one gives me well groomed, well put together, you know, ladylike vibes. From this one, I get the tuberose. It's a bit spicy and a bit silky and a bit resinous. That's how this tuberose feels to me. It starts off a bit spicy and then it gets that resinous quality at the base, and then it feels very smooth and just silky. I love it. There's a fluidity to this that I really, really love. There's also a bit of a tropical vibe, and maybe that's because of the ylang ylang. So it makes it perfect for me as a year-round fragrance because with the note structure here, I can do this in, you know, the cold weather. I can also pull it off in hot weather, but maybe, you know, with fewer sprays. I feel like this would do very well as a year-round scent just because of the versatility of the notes. So Tuberose Imperial to me is stunning, stunning and ultra feminine, very luxurious in my opinion. Next up, I have one from the House of Bulgari, and this is Splendida Tuberose Mystique. I have a tester. Is this even a tester? It's just like part of a discovery set, but I've been using it so sparingly. This perfume is interesting. Now, this one opens up a bit boozy to me. I was surprised to see that there was no boozy note in there, but I did get some booziness in the opening. Apparently, it has blackcurrant, davana, then it's got tuberose in the middle, and then at the base it's got vanilla, absolute, and myrrh. So simple note structure. Look at it's simple in terms of the number of notes, but when you look at the content of the notes, then it becomes a bit complex because you're talking blackcurrant with tuberose and myrrh. That's a very weird combo right there. But I was particularly interested in seeing how this would play out, how that juxtaposition of notes would play out. Now, this starts off, like I said, boozy, but it quickly becomes fruity and green, almost like an unripe fruit. And I believe that's the berries with the davana. I get hints of tuberose as it dries, but it does not immediately scream tuberose to me, right? So the myrrh also gives this a very dark, sensual, and mysterious quality. In fact, I feel like this should have switched names with Signorina Misteriosa. Yes, because this is the kind of darkness that I expected at the base of Signorina Misteriosa, but I digress. To me, this might not be a safe blind buy. It might not be safe to blind buy this, but if you want something unique and a very interesting use of tuberose, then you could consider Tuberose Mystique you know, from the Bulgari Splendida line. So there you have it, guys. These are my Tuberose fragrances. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm trying to keep it a bit short, even though it's already 25 minutes, but what can I do? These are my Tuberose fragrances. These are the ones that I wear. I actually do like all of them. There's none there that I don't like. Maybe some I expected a little more from, but they are all perfect fragrances done really right, you know. So I hope this was helpful, especially if you're considering purchasing a Tuberose fragrance. Hopefully, you let me know in the comments if you have any of these perfumes, what you feel about them, or if you're planning to get your nose on them. Let's chat in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching if you stayed to this point, and till I see you on another video, enjoy the rest of your day or night. Bye, guys.